All right, this lesson I'm going to look at a Sus4 chord, which is a suspended fourth, and as it's one of my favourite chords to add, favourite little variations to add to a chord. And as always, going back to why it's a 4 note, how do we find the 4? We have to look at the major scale, the do, re, mi scale. So in a C chord, where the C note will be the one, the root. 1, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So we're looking for the fourth one. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be this F note. Do, re, mi, fa is the fourth. So if I'm playing a C then, first, second, third, there's the fourth. That's the note you're going to add. The F note on the first fret. And you'll know you're playing it right if it starts to sound like Crazy Little Thing Called Love. So yeah, really nice little chord. It's called a suspended chord because it does sound like it's suspended in, just sort of hanging there, waiting to come back to the major chord. But also it's suspended like the Sus2, which we'll look at in a different lesson, I think. The suspended chords can't be major or minor because when a chord is made out of the 1, 3, 5 to be major, the 3 is major. If you flatten the 3, it becomes minor. If you flatten it again, it becomes a 2, or if you go the other way, from your 3, it goes to a 4. 3 and 4 are just one fret away from each other. It means it can't be major or minor because it's no longer a 3. Don't know if that makes sense or not. So there's no such thing as a minor chord that's got a sus. It's just a sus chord is a class of its own. So from this C shape, then, if that's the sus note, it makes it very easy when we're playing a C-shaped bar chord. It's going to be your second finger dropping in on the second string. Sus chord to major, sus. So it's a really easy, comfortable one to drop in to your major shape when it's a C-shaped bar chord. So there's first position to find the sus. If you're playing in A, that's your A note. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, A. Sounds a bit weird because we're starting an octave higher on this string, but that's your 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the 4 note. So that's what we want to add to the A chord. And you do that with tucking your finger in on the same fret that this bottom finger is, but you're doing it on the third string. There's your A. There's your A sus. A sus4. If you see A sus just written by itself, just assume it means a sus4, what we're playing here. So, therefore, there's your A shape as an open chord. If you're playing an A-shaped bar chord, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to tuck in under this third finger, using your little finger on the third string. There's your sus chord with your little finger. So that's your second position where you can find it. And then the third position, if we're playing an F, there's the F note, so that's the root. Do, re, mi, fa. There's the fourth note. 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be a, what note's that? That's a B flat note added to an F. So when I'm playing an open chord, I play the B flat by squashing my finger down and kind of barring both those strings. my sus chord. And I do the same when I'm playing a G chord. Do, re, mi, fa. The fourth will be the C note on a G. So, because this is how I play my G. I'll show you this way. I squash, out of the light, I squash this finger down so it's barring the G note and the C note. Other people play a G a different way. If you play your G like this, with 3 fingers, then I guess you're going to have to use your little finger to get the C note. And so either of those techniques will work if you're playing a 3-string, like a G shape. It's quite easy to get the sus. But there's a trick with this one. I'll go back to the F shape. It's not just, your fourth isn't just on this string, it's also on this string at the bottom. So you can find, technically, you should actually bar that top string and play the bottom string to get a proper F sus chord. But to be honest, that's really uncomfortable and it's more trouble than it's worth. So I always, in an open F shape, I always just rock my hand over and bar the top string. And I strum these top strings. I kind of avoid this string. And same with my G. But if you're playing an F-shaped bar chord, so there's my G I was playing with. This is a G chord. It's an F-shaped bar chord to make the G. I just can't. It's really hard for me to squash this finger down and hold the bar at the same time. I just can't do that one. So the only option is to play the sus4 on the bottom string with your little finger. And technically you wouldn't be playing this top string so much because that note's changed. This note should change, but it doesn't. But again, when I'm playing an F-shaped chord, it's such a dominant sound that that you won't notice it. So when we're playing an F shape, you've got your little finger on the 4th string. When you're playing an A shape, your little finger tucks in under on the 3rd string. And when you're playing a C shape, it's the 2nd finger on the 2nd string. And sus chords are really fun to just throw in if you're just playing a basic C, G, and F. It makes it you can throw it in on every second beat or just every so often. It's a really nice little melody kind of note to be able to play in your chords. Alright, so I'll look at sus2 because they often go together really well, but I'll look at those in another lesson. Sus chords. C-shaped sus chord on the 2nd finger here. The A-shaped sus chord on the little finger under there. And the F-shaped sus chord, little finger beside it on the bottom string. Unless you're playing an F here, you've got 2 options. You can play it on the bottom string, or you can also play it on the top string with that finger. Sweet. See you soon.